Hello people, this is Mr. DeRoy Cruz, your Christian friendly neighborhood amateur artist. Um, I wouldn't call myself an artist. Anyone that's been watching my channel knows that I am getting back into this. I did take an art course back in the day. I was in the art big time in middle school, and then in high school I kind of gave up on it. And then after I graduated from high school, I tried to start my own comic novel, and I got sidetracked, with allowing sin to get in my life, and started start living in fornication, and got sidetracked. And the ideas that I had as far as doing comic novels at that time were very wicked. So I kind of just took a break from it, and I soon got married to a marriage that I shouldn't have been in. It wasn't a marriage of the Lord. It wasn't for the Lord. It was my own way of cleaning myself of my sin. And here I am today, getting back into art. I have a desire to do a comic novel for the Lord. And so I opened up my channel to get started, um, sharing with you my journey back into this, and to get tips from you as I go back into this again. I have a desire to do something special for the Lord through art, and I'm kind of retraining myself to do so. So, enough of that. The last video I did, I talked about the Cretacolor aqua sticks. I did a review on those and compared those with Neocolor and Portfolio in the same medium. These here, as I promised, came in the mail today. Just less than 2 hours ago, these came in the mail. And the pro is I like them. I like them a lot. They're very much like the Neocolors, but not as professional, not as high quality, not as multi ability, I would say, as the Neocolor 2. But these are very, very good. They are better than the Portfolio. And they're probably, I would say, maybe even better than the Cretacolor. I'm not sure with Cretacolor. But these are these are very, very, very good. And as other people have said on YouTube, now as I showed you in the last video, people were wrong in some of the things they said about the Portfolio, because the colors don't dissolve the way they should, and even though they're buttery and they're creamy, as I showed you in the last video, certain colors like the browns on the Portfolio are very hard to dissolve, and when you try to get them to dissolve, they just rip into the paper, and they create a mess. You have to really use them. You really gotta know something about using this medium, and you gotta really know how to take your time. The difference between a high quality water soluble oil pastels and the low quality is the high quality. You can go do your project and do it and be done with it. Like the Neocolors, it take me a minute and I'm done. There's not a whole lot to go back over and fix it and all like that. I did, however, with these, even though I like these a lot, I might buy them again. I really like these. I did have to go back over and over on this little something that I did, and it was just a little child's like little thing I did to test these pastels out. But I had to go over it about 3 or 4 times to get the look that I wanted to look. And in my opinion, I could probably go over it a 5th time. You'll see that in a minute. But these are the Prima. 24 colors as advertised on YouTube. And water-soluble oil. Water-soluble oil pastels. Let me be clear. And there's 24 colors, and as you can see here, they are extra soft, water soluble. They just came in probably about 2 to 3 hours ago. Not even 3 hours ago, at least no more than 2. When you open the box, there's not much to it. Like when I got the Neocolors, there was a brochure, and the Cretacolors, there was a brochure to let you know how high quality your product is and all the colors that are available and all that kind of thing. But here, this box here doesn't come with a brochure. It just lets you know what colors are in the box. Here's a list of the colors that are in the box. They let you know that they're water soluble and that they're extra soft, and that is the truth. They are water soluble and they are extra soft. That is true. Okay, let me put that over there. It comes with this nice little foam covering. Okay, and right away, as soon as I opened them up, I realized real fast that these are small compared to, well, I think they're about the same size as the Portfolio. Maybe a little bit smaller than the Portfolio. I don't know. I also noticed too, and this is one of the cons, is that the sleeves on these stain really fast. I mean, they came like almost stained. I mean, look how fast they stain. Okay. Whereas, I mean, it looks like they stain the sleeves just putting these together. Okay. And, but one of the pros is, just like this one says dark brown, they let you know what the color is with an American name instead of giving you all them foreign names that nobody understands. Okay. So there's light brown, and when you get to other colors in the batch, here's a regular red, whereas you may look at Neocolor and nothing is red. It's just another color. There's a poppy red in there, I think. But everything else that's red is called something else. It's not called, none of it's called red. But a lot of these colors that aren't regular names, you know, or, you know, people are familiar with them. So one of the pros here is that the color setup here are names that people are familiar with. You know, you don't go and say, oh, what is that? Let me try that out. What is that? Here's a yellow orange. See, these are regular colors that everybody knows. And what else is on here? They give you, these are they show you there, these are Prima marketing. And let me see here. They let you know the code there, and that they're extra soft, water soluble. Okay. I don't know what that IOD means. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is, but anyway, one of the things I noticed about these is that they are kind of dark. The colors are dark when you put them down compared to Neo and Neo and Cretacolor. I think Cretacolor is very dark compared to Neocolor, and the Portfolio, they're pretty dark too, but they're lighter, I think, than, the colors are more lighter than Cretacolor. But these here colors are very vibrant, like the rest of them. Now, all of these have that in common. The colors are very vibrant when you lay them down. But some colors are darker than others. The tint of the color. If it's red, it might be a darker red or a very dark red, darker than you want it to be. The red in here, I will show you that in a second of all the color swatches. But one of the pros too is, I think I already mentioned it, is I went straight to the browns when I went in here, because between three colors, or should I say three pastel brands, one of the things that I noticed, well, two of them anyway, the portfolio and the credit color, you can tend to have a lot of trouble with the browns because they don't dissolve the way, you know, the other colors do. But in here, these Primas, they dissolve very, very well, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, they dissolve very well. So let me think, what are the other cons? Drying time is one of the cons that I will show you. The picture that I just drew to test these out is still drying. The drying time, I think Neocolor has the fastest drying time out of all these. Credit color second, and then portfolio. But these here have a long drying time. That might be a pro and not a con, because, you know, if you do regular watercolor, it has a big drying time. If you do what is it, acrylic, it has a longer drying time than, you know, the Neocolor too. So that might be a pro and not a con. As they dry, you know, they take on the look, you know, and they look more, you know, what you were expecting, I guess. Now I know with the credit color, when they dry, the colors start to break as they dry, like, you know, no one has mentioned that yet, but as the colors, in my opinion, on the credit colors, when the color starts to break, when the color starts to dry, it breaks. Like, you'll start to see cracks in, you know, some of the color where it, you know, as it dried, the color came apart a little bit. I noticed that day one when I got the credit colors. Now I'm waiting on this picture right here in front of me to dry. We'll see what it looks like. It seems to be drying pretty good. Although as it's drying, you can see some of the white coming through the paper. And I think that's very natural for oil pastels too. I think that's natural for anything that's water soluble. Okay, but Neocolors, when they dry just like you painted them. Once you get done painting, you're done. You know what I'm saying? There's, oh, the color came through, so I'm gonna go back over it over there. No, they dry the way you laid them down. That's the way they dry. And that's what I love about Neocolors, and those are my favorites. So, but these here are nice. I'm really impressed with them already. Another one of the pros is I just got done washing my hands. Just like I said, these are stained just by the colors alone, the pigment. The sleeves on these are stained just by the color when they were, I guess, putting these together. You know, creating these, however they do that, whatever you want to call it. My Neocolors, you know, the sleeves are cheaper than these. Like, the sleeves are nothing but just like rip paper, you know. But no staining. Even after you have used them and you know, dry everything down, there's no staining, you know. But here, these are stained. These stain pretty good, and my hands were full of paint when I just got done doing the picture in front of me. My hands were, you know, the paint comes off on your hands, and I said this in the last video, that when you do something that's water soluble, you want to do it without paint getting all over your hands. If you're doing pastels and you want you don't mind the paint getting all over your hands, then you'll do them with your hands instead of using a brush. But, you know, so far, only the Neocolors. I could do Neocolors in a 3-piece suit. I could wear a white shirt and do Neocolor because they just don't get on your hands, your clothes, or anything. They don't get on the paper. They just, only thing that goes down is what you put down. And that's what I love about them. So, but these here, I do like them. And I'll probably get these again in the future. They do have a very good pastel look to them. I'll show you in a second. When they dry and when you're putting them down, they do have a very good pastel look to them. And as I said in other videos, that's what I want. I want a pastel look. I don't want a watercolor look. If I wanted watercolor look, I would buy a watercolor pencil or a watercolor crayon. There's crayons out there that are called watercolor crayons. You want the watercolor look, then you get a watercolor crayon or pencil. But these are pastels, so even though you're using a brush and a little bit of water, you want a more pastel look. That's the way, if I can read the minds and the ideas of those that create these things and give these things their titles, you want a more pastel look. That's why you call them pastels. Now, some people will say, oh, well, they're called pastels because of the way they look. You know, they're small and they're shaped like pastels, but they're just really watercolors. Well, read the box, okay, and read like the internet sheets to go with these materials. There are pastel ingredients. If it says pastel, there is pastel in it. Okay, if it says crayon, there's crayon in it. If it says, but if it says a watercolor finish, or, you know what I'm saying, that means that it is not really watercolor, it's another type of pigment that can produce a watercolor look. And all these pastels have that in common, to where you add less water, you're getting a more pigmented look, more like a pastel look or more like a crayon look. But you use more water, you get a watercolor effect, okay? And I've never been a big fan of watercolors. As I said in the last 2 videos, I didn't get into painting with a brush. There wasn't a single paintbrush in my house until I started getting into these, until I started getting into this medium. And I just recently found out that, you know, you could, you know, that watercolor or water-soluble pastels existed, you know, less than 2 months ago. Or maybe about 3 months ago. And I jumped on the wagon because I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, wow, man, this is what I've been waiting for. This is like an answer to my prayers. Like, you know, I didn't know they existed. And I have the Sennelier in my locker in there. I have the Sennelier in there. And they're very soft and creamy. And they get all over your skin. Okay? But if you want the look that you get out of the Sennelier, you're going to get Sennelier all over your skin. Okay? But when you say water soluble, you don't, and you're going to use a brush instead of your hands. Now, I've seen some of these people do these YouTube videos, they've used brush and hand to do this. And I mean, they just love getting it all over themselves. But, I don't mind getting it on my hands, but to the most part, I like it to be water soluble like it says, which means that I can use a brush instead of my hands and make less mess on myself and on the paper. Okay, but these primers are very nice. I like them. I've already started right away putting some stuff together, and I'm starting to get used to how they work. And I gotta admit, they are very interesting. They're not Neocolors. but they are a keeper. They are a keeper. Here is just a little color swatch that I did when I opened the box. This is the first thing that I did when I opened the box. And just like my Neocolors, you have a very pastel look when you're blending these. Okay. And, but the colors are so dark. I mean, they are really, really dark. My Neocolors have lighter colors. And if you blend, like I did here, if you put any other color in, even whether the color you're using is dark or light, it will show. If you know what I mean, it's so just like pastels, you can mix these pretty well. Okay, now this color broke up a little wee bit, not as much as the credit color. This is completely dry. It did break up a little wee bit, but not much. Okay, what you see here is very, 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 very nice. And these pastels here, you can go over and over on the project to fix things. Whereas the portfolios, you try to go over and over and over again on something, it's going to start to, like, once it cuts into the paper, that's it. And these here, the portfolio has a tendency not to work as well on heavy paper like watercolor paper, as well as it does on maybe plain paper or something like that. That's weird, but I could show you some. Let me see if I have something here. I had some here. I got rid of it. Let me see if I have something over here. Here's something. Here's something. See here? This was done by Portfolio. And as you can see, it looks better on regular paper, on regular drawing paper or regular pastel paper than it does on like watercolor paper or heavy Bristol paper. Okay? It does a better job. Okay? Let me get this too, because this here is this here over here is, and I smell something here. I smell a smell here, a very crayon-like smell coming from these Primas. But anyway, getting back to this is the color swatches of the 24 colors, and as you can see, very good at mixing colors, blending colors, and these were done using horizontal as well as cross hatching and all like that. And I love the black. That's a pro about these. I love the black. The black here is even more intense than my Neocolors. These Primas, the black is very intense and really, really, really is black. I mean, I got black by accident on something that I was drawing, and it's very hard, as you see here, to get the black out. I mean, once you get it in there, you'd really have to go over it a couple times, maybe even let it dry, and then go over it again with clean colors. But I do appreciate the fact that you can go over and over again to fix your subject, whatever subject you're doing. And the colors are very vibrant, just like the rest of them. All these have vibrant colors, but these colors here do, in my opinion, give a more pastel-like effect. Like the Neocolors, instead of like a watercolor effect. Now to you, it might all look like watercolor, but to me, I see the pastel in these colors. Okay. Another con of these, though, is just like the Portfolio. These are my favorite brushes right here. And just like the Portfolio, the paint, when you start to go over, especially certain colors, the paint likes to stick to the brush, and you find yourself banging the brush in the water to get the color off. It don't want to come off the brush. Whereas my Neocolors, the water doesn't even get dirty that fast. Okay, I could paint for a good solid hour and not have to worry about the water. The water. I mean, especially if you use black on anything, this water starts to get black really fast. Okay, so whatever chemicals they use in these primers, which is lovely, you're going to change your water very fast, because look at this. This water then turned poop green, and um, you know, real fast. And I only did one little thing with it. Okay, and I found out too that I accidentally had to go over. I had to go over some of the other colors, because when I dried the brush off, it still had paint from the last, you know, um, episode on the brush. So even though I had the brush sitting in the water, there was still paint on it, and I didn't know it, and I dried the brush off. The paint never came off, so when it dried, I had to go over it with another color to fix that color. So that's one of the cons. Just like the portfolios, these primers, a lot of the, especially a brush that has real tight bristles like this. This is my favorite brush. I want you to see this brush. Where is it? Here it is. I don't know if you can see the name of this brush, but this is a, I don't know what to call these brushes, but I told the guy at Blick that I wanted an art brush that, would help me to smooth around the colors and stuff. And I told him I like to paint with very, very little water, and he suggested these for me. And they weren't as expensive as I expected them to be, so I got them. I got two of them. I got this here. I forget what you call the style of that one, and then I have a regular outlining brush like this one. I use this one for my black, because I like to put black outline on everything. That was another reason why he recommended these type of brushes for me, because I like to outline everything with black when I paint. So that was one of the pros of switching to this, outside of just doing regular oil pastels, because if I like to outline things with black, you can outline them better using a brush than trying to do that with just the pastel alone and your finger or a Q-tip or whatever. You can better do it with a brush. But this is the color swatch that I did, and as you can see, they go on creamy, and they look very pastel-like when they are put down and when they dry. Here's another one to prove it. And I was just mixing colors here. Like I have about 5 blues in there. Here's 4 of them. And see how one color can go into another and back to a darker. And as you can see, if I wanted to, I could have even kept on going and darkened that color further, because these colors are very high pigmented. Okay. Here's the browns, and as you can see, I didn't have any trouble blending the browns. Now this here is watercolor paper, regular watercolor paper. And as you can see, the browns dissolve very well. But as you can see also, as the color dries, you can start to see the white of the paper. The colors do break up somewhat as you as the paper dries, as the paint dries. The colors do break a little bit, but I really like these primers. I really like these, and I would recommend these for like a friend, a family member, or whoever just starting out on this kind of paint. These are really good, and they're really good for the buck because they are a lot cheaper than Neocolor. Um, Here's another one where I mixed two types of gray and a green that has gray in it, and then here this is white, and the reason why there's no light gray in the set is because I only got 24 colors, number one, and number two, look how easily white can turn to gray if you just mix a little bit of black with it. Whereas I think with my Cretacolor and my portfolio, and here's black. With my Cretacolor and my portfolio though, you could thank God there's, well, with the Cretacolor there's a light gray, and in my Neocolor there's a light gray, but you could mix you could put white down and try to make it gray, and it's like you got to use a lot of black, whereas here, as you can see, just a touch of that black will turn that white into gray, and that's the way real true color works. But again, like, these colors do break a little bit over time. As you see, when they dry, they do break. Whereas most artists that do watercoloring, this doesn't bother them. But me, as someone who likes to do pastels, you know, when you do regular oil pastels, you know, and that's the pros and cons between chalk pastels and oil pastels. Is you can see the paper with chalk pastels, whereas oil pastels, it only takes a little bit of oil to cover up, and where you can't see the paper. So the color is more pigmented, and the paint is more thicker and vibrant on the paper. That's why some of us love oil pastels over chalk pastels. But again, these primers are very good. You know, I'm moving up in steps here. I already have the Neocolor 2s. I don't think anyone's going to beat Neocolor 2. But I'm glad I got these. These are nice. I will probably use these to save money on Neocolor 2. But my problem is you can only get them online, though, around here. None of the art stores, and the Cretacolor just as well, none of the art stores sell Cretacolor and Prima. They sell Portfolio and they sell Neocolor too. Okay, some art stores, like, you got to go to a really professional art store like Blick, like Dick Blick, in order to get the Neocolor 2s. The one over here at University of Pittsburgh does not sell. It doesn't even sell. Oh my goodness! It doesn't even sell the portfolio. It doesn't even sell water soluble oil pastels. I don't think. But nothing's going to beat Neocolor. But these here are close to being just as good as Neocolor. Okay. And here's, last but least, the picture that I drew. And this is not a professional piece of artwork. This is just something that I put together to test, to see where I could go with these. And as you can see, the clouds on there, I love the way the white covers up where it needs to. I love the way the black really highlights things and separates one color from another, is what I love to do with the black. And you know, it just looks really good. And the grass, the green in this picture, I went over and over it about, I went over the grass about 3 times. I went over the mountains about 4 times. And as you can see, the color does break somewhat as it dries. But, you know, all in all, these colors are pretty professional for the money. And this these pastels are pretty professional for the money. So I'm totally excited about these and satisfied with these. And um, I think Prima did a good job. I think the Prima only comes in 24 colors, just like the portfolio. I don't think they come in any other sets. I would love to get the rest of the set. Whereas the Neocolors go from 40 to 100 and some colors. And the credit colors, I think they go from 40 to 80 colors. But the portfolios and the Prima only go up to 24 colors. I would like to see Prima have more colors. I think I remember somebody on YouTube doing a review on the Prima, and they said that the Prima only goes up to 24 colors, and they were a little disappointed about that. And the same kind of review for the portfolio. They only go up to 24 colors. There is no other color sets for them. So, but these are fun. These are 24 colors that you can do a lot of different artwork with, and they're cheaper than Neocolors. So I'm satisfied with them, even though I don't need to be. I already have the best, which is Neocolor 2, but I had to get these because I really wanted to see where we're going. I got some Charvin on the way. They should be here any day now, and when they get here, I will do a review on them. These Charvin are chalk, water-soluble chalk. So, we're living in a day and a time where everything is water-soluble if you want it to be, and not water-soluble if you don't want it to be. So, the possibilities are just totally limitless. We got everything we want to do today, and there's going to be a lot of artists like myself coming out or coming back out simply because of items like this that are water soluble, where you can draw your picture in a way, okay, and get an idea before you paint it what's going to where you're at, okay, or where you can draw your picture first and get it the way you want to, and then bring in the water to add the highlights and fix things and so forth like that. I just feel so blessed to be getting into this medium. I think I'm at the end of my journey, and right now I'm just seeing what the best is. The best is Neocolor, but to some people, Neocolor might be not either pastel looking enough, or the colors might be too vibrant or too bright or something. So there's portfolio, there's credit color, and there's these. But you can get the Neocolors in professional art stores, and you can get the portfolios in cheap art stores. The biggest drawback of these is that nobody sells them on stock. You have to go online to get them. At least here in Pittsburgh, at least here in Pennsylvania, okay, you have to go online to get them. And, but pretty soon, almost everything's going to be like that. There's not going to be any stores. Just going to be everybody going online for everything. Everybody in every store has their own online supply anyway. We're getting into the day and time when everything is going to be done through the internet. You don't like somebody, you want to give them a piece of your mind, just send them a spitball through the internet. Send a bullet running through the internet. I mean, we're getting to that time and place. You know what I'm saying? You don't like somebody, just hack their computer or something. You know what I mean? Just send a virus. Everything is online, but praise the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I love everybody. All I want to do is save money, and at the same time have professional qualities. But these are very, very good. So thanks for watching. The Charvin chalk water-soluble pastels are next. And please like, dislike, subscribe, leave a comment. Please leave a comment. I love when people leave comments. Until next time, thanks for watching. God bless you. Do unto others as you would want others to do unto you, in Jesus' name. Peace, love, and joy in the Holy Spirit. Until next time, amen. See you later.